Hello, periods 1, 2, and 3. Today we are going to review and practice a few more solving percent problems. Remember, percent goes over 100, is over of. So if you've already watched one video, you are on the right track. If you have not watched solving percent problems using proportions day 1, you definitely need to review that video before watching this video. Okay. Number 1, 5%. We're going to write our percentages over 100 of 40. That goes on bottom. Is goes on top. Is what number? We're going to solve by doing cross products. 100 times x is 100x. 40 times 5 is 200. And we divide to get that x by itself. So x is 2. Number 2, 80% would be 80 over 100 of what number? Is 16. Is over of, 16 goes on top. We're going to use cross products. 80 times x is 80x. 100 times 16 is 1,600. And we're going to divide by 80 to get x by itself. So x is 20. And number 3, 30%. Percents go over 100 of 60. Of goes on bottom. Is what number? Is goes on top. 100 times x is 100x. 30 times 60 is 1,800. And we're going to divide by 100 to get the x by itself. So we'll get 18. Okay. Now we want to just review, make sure you are good to go. Why don't you pause the video, do 4, 5, and 6, and then unpause to see if you got these correct. Number 4, 15% of 30 is what number? Make sure you've got it set up correctly. When I cross products, I have 100x equals 450. Divide by 100. So x is 4.5. 200% of what number is 12? Do you have it set up correctly? 200 times x is 200x. 100 times 12 is 1,200. And we're going to divide by 200. So x is 6. And 6, 95%. Percents go over 100 of 40. Of goes on bottom. Is goes on top. Is what number? We're going to use cross products. 100 times x is 100x. 95 times 40 is 3,800. And we're going to divide by 100 to get the x by itself. You should have got 38. Okay. So hopefully we are starting to be able to solve these pretty quickly. Challenge. Here's some more. The only thing that's challenging about these is the words are kind of not in the same order as we're used to. So percent's right here in the middle. We got our is and our of kind of scattered, okay? So again, just make sure you're doing percent over 100, is over of, and you'll be just fine. 30 is goes on top. 8%, percent goes over 100. Of what number? Of goes on bottom. We're going to solve the same way. 8 times x is 8x. 100 times 30 would be 3,000, and we're going to divide by 8. We're going to get 375. Let me double check that with my calculator. Yeah, 375. Okay. What percent? Now we're doing x over 100. Of 48 is 6. what percent, I'm solving for the percent now, 48 goes on bottom, is 6 goes on top. We're still doing cross products. 48 times x is 48x. 100 times 6 is 600. And we're going to divide by 48. So when you do 600 divided by 48, you get 12.5. And it said what percent, so let's make sure and label with a percent sign. 82%, percents go over 100, of 120. Of goes on bottom, so obviously we're solving for the part that is. 100 times x is 100x. 120 times 82 is 9,840. And divide by 100, and we're going to get 98.4. Okay. And then we have a few word problems. A boxer puppy weighs 40 pounds, which is 200% of what she weighed last year. Okay. How much did she weigh last year? So it's 200%, so we know our percent. And then it says he weighs 40%, which is the 200%. So there's our is. We're not sure the of what we're not sure what she weighed last year. So we're going to set up our problem like this. Okay, you can also think of part and whole, and that may make more sense now that we're doing word problems. Okay, we still solve the same way. 100 times x is 100x. When we do 100 times 40, we get 4,000. Oh, it's not 100x. It's 200x, isn't it? X times 200 is 200x. And we'll divide by 200 to get 20 pounds is what she weighed last year. And she doubled her weight, which makes sense. Okay. All right, 11. The sale price of the iPhone 7 is $300. 300 goes on top. That's 75% off the original price. 75% goes over 100. Find the original price. So we're finding the of. 75 times x is 75x. 100 times 300 would be 30,000. And divide by 75 to get our x by itself. So the original price was $400. And the last one, if a 25% off coupon, 25% go over 100, saved you $12 at Red Lobster, what was the original cost of the meal? So we only paid part of it, right? The $12. 25 times x is 25x. 100 times 12 is 1,200. And we'll divide by 25. So we'll get $48 was the original cost of the meal. Alrighty, periods 1, 2, and 3, check Canvas to see if there's